What's up, everyone, and welcome back to UA Anime Club, the weekly podcast where we discuss the newest season of My Hero Academia as it comes out week to week. I'm your host, Seth, and as always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Micah and Poyo. Say hi, you guys.
What's up?
Hey,
And this is our review of episode 21 of season 6, or 134 of My Hero Academia as a whole, titled The Lovely Lady Nagant. And you don't have to tell me about that, because I already know that she's lovely.
Okay.
Last time on, Deku has continued his solo adventures out in the apocalypse, and he is attacked by Lady Nagant, and this is the rest of that.
yeah.
The rest of the
This is
fight.
the fight. This is the actual fight.
The actual meat.
Yeah,
The good shit.
and we get to learn. We get to learn a bit more about Miss Girl.
Mm-hmm.
We are educated on Miss Girl's backstory, but before we get into any of that, before we get into that, we have a cold open for this episode, picking up where we left off with All Might being blown up by some hand grenades, and he's cornered by some villains, some small time guys, and even though he's like little skinny weak All Might, he's still that guy.
He's still
So
the
he-
man.
So he's walking up to him and he's like, listen, I'm following this kid. You're not going to stop me. I'm going to do my best to help him no matter what. And if there's any way that I'm not helping it, it's because I'm fucking dead. And like, he's like walking towards the crooks, and they're like falling on the ground, like, like they're crying. Because he's little, but don't forget who you're talking to.
Yeah, like don't
That's fucking
don't
All
dis-
Might, bro.
don't disrespect your troops. Like, what's wrong with you?
He's the
So
number
though,
one.
he might not
Yeah.
be able to fight anymore, but he's the same guy.
Yeah.
So after the opening, we get this shot of Deku just like swinging through the city like Spider-Man, and he's still being chased by Lady Nagant, who's able to fly due to her airwalk second quirk. And Deku kind of realizes this, so he uses his smokescreen quirk to hide himself on the ground. And the user's like, "Yo, dude, I told you can't overdo it." And then Deku starts like doing some squats in place. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah, it's it's kind of a funny animation.
And the third One for All holder's ghost appears, and he's like, "Yo, I know you're trying to use my quirk right now, but you've never used it before. Are you sure that's a good idea?" And Deku's like, "I don't have any other options right now." So Lady Nagant is floating above the smoke screen, and she's got like her gun arm has like a scope like it on it. It, like,
Yeah,
comes
like she
out.
can make a scope with her fucking skin, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks really gross.
Yeah.
It's kind of epic.
So Deku throws his first he throws his scarf with Black Whip out of the smoke, right? And Lady Nagant shoots it thinking that's him. And then he throws his backpack in the other direction just to trip her up. And then as she's trying to figure out where he really is, behind her, Deku comes up and smashes through the roof of a building that was like behind her, and like is able to like extremely quickly get to where she's at to close the distance. And this is because we learn that his next quirk that he's using is called Fa Jin, which is the third user's quirk, and it's basically he's able to, through a repeated motion, build up kinetic energy and release it. So like as he was squatting, he was able to build up that energy and then use it to burst through with like a great amount of speed. I think in Fajin in real life is a type of martial art.
Mm.
You think so? Wait, let me look that up. Real
I
world,
I
real
know so. I don't know why I said think, but it's
Fajin.
a type of martial art. I'm just not sure what it like.
The
Oh, I
reason
think it
why.
is. It's a term used in some Chinese martial arts, specifically Neijia, internal martial arts, and some other words I cannot read. Yeah, it's a real thing.
So as he closes the gap, he gets behind her and he asks, "Why is she following All for One despite originally being a hero?" And she's just kind of dismissive. She like turns around and like she retracts her gun, turns around, elbows Deku in the stomach while extending the gun out and like hits him. And she goes back to shooting at him and using like little speakers on her bullets. She like tells him her own backstory. And originally, when she was a hero, she was basically she was an assassin for the Public Safety Commission. But she didn't just kill villains, she was told to kill all types of people, like heroes who were like
Corrupted.
corrupt. She was tasked with killing villains or like people they suspected of being villains before they even did anything wrong. And
Mm.
she was basically so disillusioned and traumatized by this line of work that she kind of realizes that it's all like this whole hero system is nothing but like a sham. And when she confronts her her like the original president of the commission before the lady from a few episodes back, she confronts him on like, is my job doing any good? Is killing corrupt heroes fixing this system at all? And he just kind of gives her like a, oh, it's just, we got to keep it in line because there's vigilantes out there and we don't need people looking out to vigilantes. We need them to look up to our heroes. And he's like, if you're thinking of resigning, you'll know what'll happen, right? And he like reaches into his like jacket pocket. And I'm thinking like, if she quits, are they just gonna fucking kill her?
I guess so.
Cause like, it looks like he's going for a gun, which I don't know if that would do anything. Well, I guess that would do something if she was caught off guard. But
Mhm.
like, why kill her? Is it because she
We were
knows too
talking about
much?
this earlier. Yeah, I was about to say maybe like well, because like he said, they're trying to keep up the appearance of heroes, basically, like and
Mhm.
do things to what's the like what did he say like retain the hope that people have in heroes in society. So like if she quits and then like dumps all of the fucking like actuality of the situation, that would be very detrimental for like
Yeah.
Mhm.
them. So like it
Yeah.
would make I mean, it's awful, but it would make sense for him to be like, well, we gotta take you out if you're gonna start like going rogue, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah. And after he says that, she just whips her quirk out and just blows his brains out.
I do like to think though that maybe he wasn't going to kill her and she just killed him anyway.
I just like the people who were like not actually like villains but possible villains. I guess, but they like consider them a threat. Then they would just like consider her a threat as well, and just
Yeah.
that's why they get rid of her.
Oh, and also I skipped a part because there's a scene where, while she's like talking to the police when back in her hero days, a group of like small kids run up and like, Lady Nagant, can we shake your hand? And she puts her hand out, and all she can see on her own hand is just the blood of everyone she's killed. And she like retracts her hand back, and that's the moment she realizes that everything is just fucking shitty.
Yeah.
This isn't
Not
what
worth
heroes
it.
do. Like she can't be killing people like in cold blood behind the scenes and then have a smiling role model public face, you know?
Acting like innocent to the actual innocent.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yeah, I imagine like she just sees the innocence of these kids who do not know anything, and just think of her as like this cool hero who's doing good for society, and she just feels sick to her stomach.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that even after this event and after she was arrested and put in a Tartarus, the Heroes Safety Commission still covered for her. They said
Yeah.
they didn't reveal that she killed the commissioner. They made up some story that there was a dispute between her and another hero, and he ended up dying.
Yeah.
And again, just to prove her point of no matter what happens, they will cover up for heroes' misdeeds to keep the face of just these like pure heroes who could do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And the fight continues, and Deku kind of tells her that he's come to realize that the world isn't necessarily black and white. He wants to still lend a hand to those who are like doing wrong as well. Like he's kind of telling Nagant what he wants to do. Like we saw it with Muscular when he was talking to him, like why are you doing this? You know, what is the reason for your like rampages and stuff? So he's kind of trying to understand like everyone's like villains' positions, right? Nagant decides that in order to, because she's not going to beat this kid, so in order to kind of trip him up, she points her gun at Overhaul, who's like still standing on another building, and he's just screaming like, I need to get to the boss.
Take me with you. Take me with you. I want to live.
So she decides to use her like gun arm super mode. It like bulks up and it's able to like shoot like way faster than it usually does, but it risks jamming, she says. And she aims it towards Overhaul and shoots him. But Deku, using his Fajin powers, notes that, and he says a really cool line like, everyone knows in my generation the image of All Might zipping by faster than a speeding bullet. And so he uses Fajin to create a sort of, he calls faux 100%, where he is basically able to mimic All Might's exact speed without any repercussions. And he zooms past the bullet and like knocks it away from Overhaul. And this is where I want to point out the animation of this episode, because this is the best episode of the season so far. Like, I remember a couple of episodes, like in the beginning, we were like, "Is this the best episode of MHA?" It was like it wasn't the Mirko episode, but it was like the one after it. This one takes the cake. This is the best.
This is really
episode,
good.
like to me, because you'll see.
But it is really good because this is a really good. It's Nakamura, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for the shot after, he like uses like Black Whip to like slingshot himself back to Lady Nagant to like get back to her, and he even tells Overhaul before this. He's like, we're talking later. By the way, you're not.
We're not done. We are not done.
He then uses Fajin to to fucking destroy her gun arm, which would hurt a lot, I'd imagine.
She breaking her bones essentially.
Basically.
And this is the Utapan shot it's in this like big reference to. It reminded me of the. I don't know if it's a flat out reference, but it did remind me of the third movie's final attack, where he like had
Oh
like all the
yeah.
after images.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It was
Doing that shit.
so fucking good.
so cool.
So
So he defeats
yeah.
her, and
Get fucked.
he manages to catch her before she like falls and hits the ground. And he's like, I know that you still have the heart of a hero. Please come fight with us, because I know you can still do good. We're gonna make things better. And Lady Nagant, like this whole battle has kind of like she's sort of analyzed just like what Deku's been saying and like his actions and stuff. And she's about to tell him, you are a real hero. And then she explodes.
Yeah. The bitch explodes, and then like fucking fuckface over here.
Bald
for
head
one.
ass, all for one. Like he's like, I knew this would happen, so I put a bomb in her fucking quirk, and she explodes. She's falling to the ground.
Just in case she would like go off the plan and start, having feelings and stuff.
Having feelings and being a good little girl.
What the fuck?
But then we see a little baby wings of hawks shoot out to catch Nagant, and Hawks' wings are still so small that he can't fly.
Yeah.
So like Deku, using the last of his strength, uses Black Whip to catch him, but they're still like kind of falling. And then Endeavor's like, I'm sorry we're late. It's raining. My quirk isn't good in the rain. Are there any other villains that we need to know about? And Deku's like, oh, Overhaul's over there. He's like, all right, bet. I'll get him. So he goes to get Overhaul. And Hawks talks with Lady Nagant. And he's like, yo, don't die. You're a hero. You can fight this. You can be on our side. Just please don't die. And she reveals that in 2 months in the woods, there's a big mansion. And that's where she was ordered to take Deku after she captured him. And that's kind of the last that she says before they hit the ground. And the episode doesn't say that she's not dead or if she is dead. They did call the ambulance, so her fate is a little.
They're like, she stops talking and so you're like, what? But then they're like, we gotta take her to the hospital. So it's like, perhaps she's salvageable. She's Armand right now. Like, she's pretty fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, her skin is cracked and stuff. Oh,
Endeavor lands with Overhaul and arm. He's holding him like a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, is this the guy? He's like, yeah, this is the guy. And then Deku tries to talk to him, and Overhaul's like, shut up! I don't want to talk to you. I'm talking to her. Because we need to go get the boss. And Deku's like, hey, if you can apologize to Eri, then I'll take you to the boss myself. And then Overhaul just like shuts up.
He's like
and the look on Deku's face.
Deku, yeah, because Deku is like, hey, do you remember what you did to that little girl? And he's like, oh yeah, we can use her quirk and I can I can help the boss recover. Like, he's not even thinking about like what he's done to that girl, like the horrific things he's done to her. He's just thinking about how to like help himself. And Deku's like, you need to apologize.
Deku himself, like, he words it he words it like, if you can put that same energy towards Eri, then I will help you.
Yeah. But you need to apologize.
And it needs to be genuine.
Mm-hmm. And then you're gonna go back to jail.
With tears. With
tears.
If you're not on your knees, like, sobbing and groveling, then I'm not gonna help you.
And then the last little bit of the episode is Deku clenches his fist, and with just like sheer rage in his eyes and in his voice, he just like vows to get All for One. Like he's pissed because he's looking at Nagant's just charred body, and that's where the episode ends. What a happy ending!
What a happy
Yeah,
ending.
also the preview is funny because like Deku sounds really depressed in it, and like someone pointed out like he didn't even say plus ultra.
Didn't say plus ultra. That's how you know things are getting serious.
That's how you know.
Sucks. So
that was a really good episode.
Lady Nagant.
She will be missed? Question mark. The fate of Lady Nagant. You'll have to keep watching in order to figure it out. But yeah, I was so excited to learn that Yutapon, aka Yutaka Nakamura, was back on the team for this episode, and a bunch of other people who can replicate his style were also doing some things in this episode as well. And it just looks so amazing.
The 3D like little shots. Excuse me. The 3D little shots of Deku like swinging in the city is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing with like the environment, because like I think I said it before, but like they totally it's like the style had like a sudden shift where like the colors are more muted. It's very like even the back, like the city background, like has very limited colors. Like it's just like it's just green and black basically. Like it almost looks like a comic book more so, with how like gritty the colors have become.
Yeah.
And like Micah was talking about, there's all these cool shots of Deku like swinging around like it's Spider-Man, like, you know, Hori loves Spider-Man, and Bones loves animating him swinging around like he's Spider-Man. And it's always cool. It's always nice. I will say though, it kind of looks like he's fucking like he's like in a video game environment. Like it kind of looks like that.
when you really like see that it's all 3D along with like his model, it's a little bit slightly jarring.
Like a PS1 game.
PS3,
but it still looks
PS3
good
at the very best. I thought it was super cool how Fajin ended up being red. Because I didn't really register it having any sort of color while reading the manga. I just thought it was like, oh, he's building up energy so he can like do a burst.
Yeah.
But like a red aura was actually a really clever way of kind of visualizing that.
Yeah, the visuals of it is really cool. I love it.
And also, we also just get to see another glimpse of what 100% Deku truly is, because he can basically, as the move implies, fake being at 100% with this Fajin power. And it only makes me think, like, okay, so when Deku actually becomes 100% one for all power, using Fajin, he could probably end up being 200%, like, and not even like an exaggerated like plus ultra way. It would actually be legitimately 200%.
It's just additional power, yeah.
It's crazy as fuck.
Double.
And just like the growth of Deku's powers has just been like so much throughout. Like if you go back to the beginning, you would never guess that this was what Deku would be capable of like 6 seasons later.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple episodes ago, we literally saw him like basically solo a villain that he like barely could have beaten like a couple seasons ago. Like
he almost died, yeah.
Yeah, he almost fucking died, and almost like they literally told him like, if you keep doing this, you're going to die. Like you can't keep doing this. But now he's at the point where it's like, I guess his body's just it's handling it better. And he's also just becoming more strong and like powerful now. So like, yeah, dude's a beast.
I also love how Deku has this new mindset of the world isn't black and white; it's actually very gray, and how he wants to understand these villains. Because when, like in the earlier seasons, he just sort of he just sort of fought villains and beat them up because that's what heroes do, right? That's what he saw on TV. That's just what they do. He didn't really think there was any sort of uh, complexity to it other than that.
Yeah.
But now that he's grown so much, he's kind of realizing that Lady Nagant, in a way, is right. How hero society is a sham, right? It is just this glorification of like these super beings and that can do no wrong, which isn't true. And after the fight with Shigaraki's big speech about how heroes create villains, and with the little flashback to like there's a little flashback segment with like the fox girl from the last episode who was getting like what's the word? Profiled?
She's getting hate crime.
She was getting hate crime. She's getting profiled for being a villain, despite the fact that she was relatively or actually incredibly harmless. So
she's just a normal girl.
Yeah, he's realizing the world isn't what it seems like. And he's not going to maybe he's going to try and make it better than it was before instead of changing it back to the way it was. And I think that's what Lady Nagant realized that no, Deku is the real deal. He's not what like she believes heroes are through the Public Safety Commission's like influence. He is like the savior almost. Like he's that guy.
He's that guy, yeah.
Because before it was just like early on, it was just like an utter disbelief of like, how could a person do all of these horrible things? But now he realizes like the path of the path that brings these people to do these things. Like, it's not just I'm suddenly evil and I want to kill. Except muscular.
Except muscular.
Yeah, because I was about to say like he has this mindset, but like he's willing to he'll fuck you up if he comes to the conclusion that like you're just like a bad person.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But now like for those people that like he gets to know their like journey of what led them to this. He's like he realizes like the corruption. He sees the gray within society. Not the black and white.
I also wanted to point out that I can't believe Lady Nagant shot and killed Bill Clinton this episode.
Bruh.
Okay. Someone pointed this out. I don't remember who. But they pointed out that the presidents of the Safety Commission look like the Clintons.
Oh no way.
God.
Like the old president
what
looks
did you
like Bill,
mean by this?
and the fucking the new one looks like Hillary.
What did you mean by this?
What was he thinking? What was he cooking?
What was he cooking?
What is he cooking up in the stew? What were you doing?
Lady Nagant's like story right here is it's pretty short, but it's a very much it's one showing like of course the gray of society and like characters that have to do the shit she's done, but also it's a building block for Deku as well.
It's also just an excuse to show off Deku's new power.
That too.
Yeah, which like
kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, she is interesting because like if like she's basically like Hawks, but like if Hawks didn't stay.
If Hawks couldn't take it anymore.
If Hawks couldn't take it anymore, which I guess is like the difference between them, where it's like Hawks is like I guess just because Hawks has been exposed to so many shitty things since like since he was a kid, and despite like all of the terrible things that he has to do in order to like get the job done, he still kind of retain like he still likes heroes. Like he still wants to. What was the thing he said like early? what was the thing earlier on that he said, like, that was kind of like his mission statement where he was like, I want to live in a world where heroes get to have free time or something like that.
Yeah, where the
Yeah.
world doesn't really need them.
Yeah.
Like I think the full quote was like, I want a world where heroes can wake up in the morning, go to work, come home and complain that nothing happened today. You know?
Mm.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out that Hawks didn't end up like Lady Nagant because if you think about it, their upbringings were like total opposites, right? Because Hawks grew up like believing that heroes were just behind the TV screen, and he didn't really idolize them
He
like
also
Lady Nagant did as a child, right?
he also
Yeah.
grew up in a
Much worse
abusive like
environment.
household and shit.
Exactly. Because we go to Lady Nagant's childhood when she's being told, "Oh, we need you to join the Hero Safety Commission so you can be a hero." She is so happy in that moment.
Yeah. Because it's
She's
it's like a dream for her, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She was back then she was just a normal kid. Like as it shows, she's just
Yeah.
like, normal family and all that.
For Hawks getting picked up by the commission, it was more kind of like his life was kind of saved by that, weirdly enough. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it was less like, this is my chance, and more just like, oh, now this is where my life actually begins.
Right. To like reiterate kind of what Trev was saying when we talked about that episode, Hawks was just kind of already conditioned to be like conditioned to violence, whereas Lady Nagant was like, as you said, a normal kid who just wasn't able to take it anymore.
Yeah.
It was not anything that she had ever expected. And it sucks that All for One blew her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Did you have to do all that? No, I
Man,
don't think you did.
it's always, you know what? It's always the baddest bitches in MHA.
Baddest bitches.
First we lost Midnight.
Midnight.
Then Mirko got her arm like hacked off. And now Lady Nagant exploded.
Exploded.
Though
Yeah.
again, we don't
know the status
we don't
of
know
her.
if she's dead. I do. But that's neither here nor there. Read the manga if you haven't. Or continue watching the anime when it gets to season 7.
Oh my god, yeah, next year.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Most likely.
Yeah.
It's most likely next year.
I hope they take a break, but like they're
Mhm.
only in a season because this they can't fucking help it.
Once again, we're back to some peak MHA.
Yeah.
It's been peak
I
this
really
whole
like
season.
It's been
I think.
peak.
I really like it's been peak, but like this is like
Some low
a
spots here and
very
there.
good a very good part of this arc.
Yeah.
I like Nagant. She's cool.
I really liked the last shot of this episode with Deku clenching his fist and then like the zoom in on his eyes, and they're like,
Yeah.
it's like he got like the power of the spiral from Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, it's the
like, in his
spiral
eyes.
energy.
Yeah.
So it looks like
it's just like unadulterated, just pure rage.
Yeah.
And then the outro plays, and you get that shower of emotions.
The shower of emotions. Washing them off.
If you're an anime only and you've heard like about this arc, how it's like the edgy Deku arc, and you're wondering like, Deku's not that edgy this arc. He
nah.
There's
wait
more.
wait a little bit.
There's a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not done yet.
He's better go through it.
Something I'd like to also mention is that about the dub is that it's been like, okay, it's Justin Briner, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
Mr.
His delivery as Deku has been very, very good.
Yeah, throughout the whole season, right? Because you have in the Liberation War arc, he really nailed that sort of like that scared and angry and just like hopeless, not hopeless, but like stunned sort of Deku voice for the
Yeah.
war arc. And now, because they just caught up with this material in the dub, now that he's got like the mask on and the scarf, he's playing it much more straight, much more serious
Yeah.
than ever before. And it's almost like a completely new voice.
Kinda.
Sounds a lot more like mature, very like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Like people make fun of the Deku voice, but like he's genuinely such a good like VA for Deku.
Mhm.
And I feel like with this part of the story, like the dub hasn't caught up yet. It's like 2 episodes behind, but like
Yeah,
he's understanding the assignment with this.
exactly. He kind of sounds a lot like narrator Deku.
Mm.
Because like narrator
Mm.
Deku was always sort of like that mature voice, but now it feels like Deku has actually, like in the story, now sounds like the narrator version. Which makes me wonder if, like, is narrator Deku actually an adult, or is it literally just like him a year later?
Bro, if it turns out like the end of this fucking thing is just fucking a year later, I'm gonna fucking start throwing things.
Well, a lot can happen in a
He,
year, because it's only been a
I
year in
know,
universe.
I know, but I'm just kind of like, get these kids out of high school. Get these kids out of high school.
My college academia.
First years for too long.
Well, they're not babies anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
They got that trauma. That
They
character
got that
development.
trauma.
Like character developing trauma. I think next episode might be a little more like it might be slower than this one,
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
a little more dialogue heavy, but we're still in for some just great like emotional character stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this episode nailed the emotional stuff too. Like I felt Lady Nagant's like when she like lost that faith in hero society, I felt it too. Like
Yeah.
the music, the voice acting, the artwork is just it all works so well.
Yeah. Because, like, the thing about Nagant is that it's clear that, like, despite, despite everything, she still, like, holds on to that, like, uh, what's the word? Like, that sentiment, those, like, feelings towards, like she, how she was when she was a little kid, that, like, hopeful, that hope,
The hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I guess is why it was easier for Deku to get through to her because, she still has that like thread of humanity left.
Mm-hmm.
She reminds me a lot of Stain, where his entire motivation was trying to find like the true heroes, because he only believed that All Might was a true hero, and that's why he killed all of the other ones. But he even recognized Deku as a true hero, and flash forward all of these seasons later, we get Lady Nagant, who is similar to Stain, loses faith in all heroes, becomes a villain. Deku comes around. She realizes that he's the real deal.
Yeah.
I think Deku just has that dog in him.
He just yeah.
Yeah, he's just that guy, kind of. He's
that
literally
guy.
just that guy.
Like that's
That's
ultimately
I
What?
go.
go. That's ultimately the purpose of this arc, is just to show Deku's growth and how he's able to basically, if you didn't believe it already, proving to the audience like, oh no, he is number one like material.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the hero that we need. Do we deserve him? Probably not, but
Maybe not.
yeah,
But
because
what were
like
you gonna say?
I don't know. I love this sort of thing where like in stories like these, or just in any like shonen thing where you have this main character who just has this like it's not like it's always like an 100% like thing that works, but just has the ability to just shift people's minds and like almost like at the best of times set people on the right path just
Yeah.
by existing. Just by
'Cause
existing.
they see like in him something that they've forgotten or been chasing to find
Right.
in their lives. Like
All the way.
just something that a long time ago that they saw but no longer did. And finally they see him who's just that symbol of like hope.
All of those seasons ago in season 4, during the Kirishima backstory bit, where he feels down on himself and unsure if he is able to be a hero, and then he sees on the news Deku saving Bakugo from the slime villain in episode 1, and that's what inspired him to get back out there and try to be a hero again. And Kirishima might not even know that was Deku, but even back then, before Deku had the powers, before he was even at UA, before he knew these people, he was already inspiring them.
Yeah.
And same arc with Eri, right? The whole festival was meant to not only like they saved her physically, but then they had to save her emotionally, and that's something that Deku just does very well with like everyone he encounters.
I just wanted to do that for her because like I mean you could name so many things like fucking Todoroki, like fucking
Todoroki,
knows. Yeah.
fucking
If
Bakugo.
Todoroki didn't, yeah, Bakugo. If Todoroki didn't have any friends, Bakugo didn't have any friends,
And Bakugo may not be there to the point where he'll admit that he has friends or Deku is his friend, but we saw in that episode, he rushed to save him without even thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Deku's influence is definitely there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he likes it or not. Just I'm so invested in this goddamn character.
Me too.
This kid,
He's
man.
good. He's good.
He's so good.
He's
And
just that guy.
we're only at the beginning. Like we're at the we're in the final stretch of the story, but we're also at the beginning, and it's there's still so much left, and I can't wait for the anime to touch upon.
It was a banger episode.
A 100% banger episode. A full 100%.
Full 100%.
Banger.
Plus Ultra. What?
Stop. Cut it out, please. I'm so tired. I'm sick of those fucking videos.
You could have just did Plus Ultra. You didn't have to put in the what. But yeah, no, the fantastic episode. I can't wait for next week and the week after, and then the week after that,
and the week after, and then
the it's over.
Yeah. How many episodes you got left?
It's 20. We have 4. 4 left.
Okay, 4 left.
4.
And then we will never do this show ever again. I'm just kidding.
And then,
but yeah,
My Hero movie.
there might be. We still don't know.
Who knows? There might.
Yeah.
It would be a perfect time for them to actually do a movie, because like it's why I've been saying like the time after like the either like a year in between or like the time between like the anime ending then the next season, just do a movie in between,
Yeah, the whole doing it while the season's running is
it's weird.
It's a little weird.
It's just like a waste of like, I don't know, kind of like
I don't know what a movie would be about.
Yeah,
but
like
with the timeline right now, doesn't feel like there's any time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got nothing else for this episode other than it was just fantastic, and I want Lady Nagant. What?
Okay. Anyway, see you
Alright,
next
bro.
adventure.
Wait, hey, you're not allowed to say
Alright.
that.
No, continue.
Alright.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much for joining us today on UA Anime Club. Make sure to like this video, hit the bell, subscribe to be notified when all new UA Anime Club episodes come out. Follow us on Twitter. We also post there on updates. And we'll see you next adventure.